So I'm going to do this off of a phone because I'm an amateur. And when I say amateur, I mean I've reached a level of success that the rest of you can only dream of. So. Guys, thanks so much for this event. It's a really exciting thing. You know, sometimes you've been doing the same thing for 5 years, and you know, you've been doing it the same way, and it starts to get a little stale, and it's just time to change it up. So, enough about McFarland's hosting and house teams, you guys. Guys, I'm moving to Vancouver. Ryan is a dear friend of mine and my roommate, so I gotta find somebody to move into my apartment and live with Ryan. So I asked the suspects. I was like, these are guys who are in the comedy scene, like, you know, they get it, they'll understand. So I thought about asking Patterson. Patterson actually lived in the apartment before I did.
True.
Yeah, it's true. I visited it.
It's true.
It looked like where the Lost Boys live in Hook. 20 or 30 boys of all ages just sleeping in like bamboo slings. Patterson fucking zipping past you on a zip line. Pee Wee Herman music plays at full volume. He's still chiseling Fruity Pebbles out of the drain. Girl would show up at the door, 10 boys would run up with like rudimentary gifts for her. A handful of buttons. So Patterson's out. So next I call Leone, I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, you call that a handshake? He's like, we're on the phone, dude. He's literally saying the same thing to me every time we meet for the last 5 years. And he goes, Johnson! I just hung up. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't wish you as a roommate on anybody. Rob, already living comfortably in Improv Asylum's front room, so he's fine. He was like, yeah, I got this like spacious 1-bedroom. I was like, that's a business, man. It's not your apartment. It's a place of business. I even tried to get in touch with Zach Barker. I don't know where Barker's at, but being a cartoon character, he doesn't have email or a computer, as far as I can tell. If you want to get in touch with Zach Barker, you just have to walk around the North End, just knocking shave and a haircut on the walls, and then he busts through like Roger Rabbit. He goes, 2 minutes! Yeah, there he is. So I was walking around, walking and knocking, and he busts through the wall of Modern Pastry. I'm like, what's up, man? And I was like, yeah, I got a room in my apartment. He's like, oh, cool. Do you have like a room that's like the room that Darth Vader has, where like steam comes out and his like helmet fuses to his deformed head? Because I need that to put my beanie on every single day and night of my fucking life. I was like, no man, I don't have a room like that. Nobody has that room. So I don't know where you live. That's not a room that's available to anybody. So it's clear like finding somebody's become a struggle at this point. So I remember, I remembered something somebody told me, like, you know, the people who are likely to want to move are people who are like dealing with like, you know, big life decisions and are kind of in a point of emotional upheaval. So I was like, I could talk to LaMonica literally anytime and that'd be fine. Like
You're not wrong, Tim! You're not wrong!
Yeah. So I find LaMonica after brunch, like he's crying, I'm crying, it's a whole thing. And McGregor, who was also at the show, and has had, you know, 30 or 40 beers at this point. He's been sitting in the back row of section 3, just blinking and swallowing for the whole thing. Puffing out his cheeks like a blowfish. Just maintaining for an hour. So McGregor sees this conversation and thinks we're doing an improv scene and just keeps trying to enter relentlessly. And I'm trying to push him out of there, and it's hard to push McGregor, man. He literally has made a career out of being large to the delight of tourists. Who's that big man? I want to ride in his pedicab. Who's that big man? I want him to insult me during my dinner. That's what McGregor does for a living. So I'm trying to push McGregor out of the way. He's not going anywhere. Thankfully, at that moment, a blow dart hits him in the neck. He collapses. Amanda drags him out of there. He's having a good time. So good. Anyway, so McGregor's out. I tried to call Hoy. I tried to call Brian Hoy. I don't know if you guys have seen. Yeah. Well, the good news for Hoy is that the Canadian government got a hold of a recent picture of him and thought he was a Syrian refugee and gave him asylum and a place to live for the rest of his life. So Hoy's doing fine. And I even bumped into Griffin and was like, "Hey man, I'm moving," and Griffin goes, I mean, I say I talk to Griffin, but that's an overstatement. I don't really talk to Griffin. Hey, man. And I realized, like, oh yeah, like Griffin made this Nick Nolte character down here, and now that's just like who he is in real life. So I just kind of had to walk away from that conversation. I didn't even bother asking Dewar, who rolled up at the last minute, because Dewar moved to New York like a couple months ago. And then Dewar was like, "No, man, I've been here." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I've been in Ghost Factory shows with you," and I was like, "Have you?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, yeah, like, you know, like the old fat guy everyone likes." I was like, "No, dude, I know Mark has been there. I don't know you. Yeah." But he was like, "No, I can't do it. I've taken a part as the ghost of Christmas Future in Matt Catanzano's life." So Dewar's busy. Dewar's sticking around. So I'm almost out of options. So I arrive at Kagi, and I realize that Kagi's like a trope. He's like the classic sane man in an insane world. Like, I imagine Kagi walking into the Just Suspects meetings, and it's like those career builder commercials where there's one human and a bunch of chimpanzees just like, throwing shit around. Kagi's like straightening his tie. McGregor's throwing his huge feces everywhere. Patterson's eating it and calling it a comedy show. Kagi just periodically glances at the camera like Jim from The Office. It's your life, man. It's your life. But it turns out Kagi is actually going to join the main stage and live with Aaron so he's going to be working and living with Aaron, which sounds totally healthy and not exhausting at all. Kagi's going to start looking like Kramer when the fucking Kenny Rogers roaster sign was outside. I'm stressed. It's gonna be Alex Kagi's life from now on. Yeah, this is the way you worked for me. So I'm out of options. I'm literally out of options. So I'm like, who the fuck is gonna be around forever? So Catanzano's moving in next week. Guys, that's all I got. I love you all. Thank you so much.